Welcome to the Money Manifestation Mastery Podcast with your host, Lara Waldman, where we talk all things money. Big money, big purpose, big power. Waking up your wealth for heart-centered business owners and entrepreneurs. In today's episode, we are going to activate your power. Discover how your power, your innate ability to consciously create is the key to manifestation mastery. We're going to be having a deep dive into power and manifestation in today's episode. Let's dive in. I've been obsessed with the subject of power for many, many years. When I was guided to work with money and conscious wealth creation, it was really, really important to me that I found a way to work with wealth in a way that was a life-giving energy, a supportive energy. I was very concerned about misuse of money power. So I have spent years trying to figure out, how do we work with money? How do we work with power in a conscious, mindful way? Power is a really interesting thing. It is a very big energy. It is a creative energy. It can also be a destructive energy. Power is like fire. It can burn the house down. It can kill. It can destroy. It can devastate. But equally, it can cook our food, heat our home, be something beautiful to look at, like a candle or a fireplace. So it's really about how you hold your power, how you manage your power, that is key. And I would say that most people have not been trained in how to manage their power, how to use their power consciously and mindfully. One of the things I've discovered over many, many years of manifestation work is that our innate ability to manifest, to consciously create what we truly desire in alignment with our heart, body, soul, is all about waking up our power, activating your power within to consciously create. But we've very much been trained in our society to give our power away. We give our power away to a higher power, to our parents, to politicians, to leaders. We've been trained to follow. We haven't been trained to lead. We've been trained to give our power away. We haven't been trained to claim our power and to create from that power. So a lot of people just don't even realize. And so today's episode is all about helping you to step into your power, to activate your power to create the life that you desire, to be the leader of your life, moving out of victim consciousness, feeling disempowered, and remembering that you have the power to create, you have the power to manifest. In the early days of my journey with manifestation and spirituality, I used to believe that a higher power, like Source, Universe, God, would give me the thing that I wanted. If I was just good enough, pure enough, aligned enough, that I would be gifted it. It would be given to me. I just had to sit back and wait. Now, there is an element of truth to that, around receiving, around receptivity, that sometimes things will land into your lap. Sometimes opportunities will come in that will come from unexpected spaces and places. So that is a part of it, opening up to receive in all the unexpected ways in which life wants to gift to you or can gift to you. But that also comes from a disconnected and disempowered place, because the key to manifestation mastery is understanding the part of you that is co-creating your results. We tend to project outwards because we are disconnected from a part of ourself. So today's conversation is understanding that the power to create actually lies within you. And that power to create co-creates with all of life, but you are not separate from it. You're not a little victim waiting passively to be given, to be saved, to be rescued. That is not you and your power. It's an important part of manifestation, opening up to receive, being receptive, being open to unexpected ways in which things can come into your life. But equally understanding that the center point of creation lies within you. This is actually a full-bodied experience, but I feel the seat of this living inside of your belly, living inside of the pelvis, living inside of the sacral area. It's like a fire deep inside of you, your creative center. And this part of you is immensely powerful. Your power to manifest lives inside of you. And yet, most of us are disconnected from this power. We're in our heads, right? We're thinking, we are in anxiety, we are in stress, we are in overwhelm, we are in busy with 1,000,001 things to do. We're hustling, we're grinding, we're pushing, we're forcing, we're running around like headless chickens, never enough time, or feeling maybe completely low, completely depressed, completely deflated, unable to move forward. There's all sorts of things that happens in our human psychology, emotionally, mentally, and physically that keep us spinning in cycles, looping, but essentially are all patterns of being disconnected from power, being disconnected from yourself. Having coached thousands of people on what they want to manifest, what they want to create in their business, in their finances, in their life, one of the things I've heard over and over again, people say once we get deeper and deeper into the conversation, is many people have said, I'm scared of my power. I'm scared of what I'd do if I had all that money or I had all those resources. And I find this really interesting that this part of us that I see as your true self, your true power, we're often scared of because we haven't been in conscious connection to it or in a healthy relationship with it. Most often that part is living in the underworld or the unconscious. And it is running your life. It is creating. It's just not necessarily creating the results that you want. What I've found is there's so many ways that people suppress their power, disconnect from their power, hide their power, for all sorts of reasons. It's a really, really fascinating subject. I know for myself, the way that I hid from my power, suppressed my power, was around food, was around a lot of self-harm with food, over-exercising, hustling, people-pleasing. A fantastic pattern that I played out for a long time was over-giving, my kind of wounded healer, rescue complex self, wanting to help everyone, focusing outside of myself essentially. And I did this because I had a core belief that my power, who I was and my essential powerful self, was too much, was unlovable, was repellent. And that if I was really powerful in every area of my life, that people would reject me, judge me, criticize me, attack and abandon me. And it was such a strong fear that I held myself back massively for way, way too long. And this power has been sitting there, dormant, hiding, buried in the shadows of shame and pain for a very long time. That created a huge amount of pain for myself. One of the experiences was feeling very lonely, very sad, very deflated, with a lot of low energy. And then seeking ways to, boost myself. And I found food to be one of the ways to do that, self-soothing through all sorts of different ways. Food was one that I used for a long time. And I've used other things like alcohol. I've used drugs. I've used all sorts of things over the years just to not feel the depth of pain from being disconnected from my true power. Reconnecting to my power has been a really big journey. It's felt like a mountain to climb at times, because I was having to overcome a lot of patterns, programs, beliefs that are very deeply seated in society, in the culture I was raised in, and the family that I was raised in. And so every step has felt quite radical, felt very brave, felt very bold. It's felt counterculture. It's felt like I'm going against the grain and going against the thing that's going to help me to fit in. And so I was in a huge battle with myself for years and years and years, to be honest, for most of my adult life. And I have slowly, painfully taken one step at a time, following the guidance from my heart, body, soul, listening to this inner power, this inner voice, this inner wisdom that was calling me to create, that was calling me to lead, that was calling me to grow a business, that was calling me into greater wealth, that was calling me into a new way of living and being. And every step has felt incredibly uncomfortable and very stressful. And I spent years and years just fighting it, to be honest. And so my path has probably been a lot slower than it could have been if I just didn't fight myself and trusted myself, trusted in this power. But the other thing that I noticed for myself personally is when we have suppressed parts of ourselves, suppressed our power, it can come out in bursts. So for me, it would come out in anger. It would come out in sadness, or it would come out in depression. My suppressed power would then sometimes explode out into the world. And so I didn't trust it. It felt like, okay, it's going to do anger, right? Or it's going to do sadness, or it might want to attack or judge or shame or blame. And I never, ever want to lead from that place. So I do a lot of shadow work. I do a lot of work on healing this aspect of myself, or holding the shadow, holding the wounded parts, holding the hurt parts, loving them into life, so that power can rise and thrive up through my body, up through my heart center, from a place of deep connection, deep love. And then that power becomes something really, really life-giving. So again, power is a double-edged sword. Most things are double-edged sword. Most things have a light and a shadow. And I always take a stand for leadership that's all about giving life to life, where we are supporting, uplifting, helping each other. There's no need to hurt, harm, squash, suppress anyone. But that requires you as the leader, as the business owner, to do that inner work and to allow this energy to rise and thrive on purpose. What is very cool about your power that lives inside of you, it actually knows how to create. It co-creates with life. There is an energy and intelligence, almost like these energetic root systems, that knows how to grow and knows how to blossom. It knows what it wants to become. It's like a seed of consciousness, and it wants to rise through you. So we need to give it space to breathe, space to move, space to blossom, space to become. It has a voice, it has an energy, it has an essence, it has a purpose. It knows what it wants to blossom into. It knows what it wants to become. But your beautiful brain won't necessarily know what that is. And this is why it's so important to hold space, to really listen to that inner guidance system, what it wants to grow into. But at times it will feel like you're pushing up against edges of what can feel impossible sometimes. I used to feel that there was no room for my power in my relationships. There was no room for this part of me in my life. So I learned to build places and spaces in which I could fully express myself. And this is what's been so amazing about running a business. You've got a platform in which to create, in which to express. And I've manifested dream clients that can meet me on this level. I've manifested incredible friends that can meet me on this level. Not everyone can, but I've made sure to consciously create systems, structures, relationships in which this part of myself can be fully received and be fully expressed. That's taken a little bit of time to build, and I've had to listen deeply to this power inside of me to ask, what do you need? What do you want? How are we going to do this? And remember that survival brain is going to kick in and try and shut down, squash, suppress, keep you in the same cycles. Transformation or change can be deeply stressful. And so managing your emotions is key. And this is what my step-by-step process is all about. A daily practice to relax, release, and open up to receive and allow for this incredible power to blossom, to become, to grow, to thrive. And this power will be creating with life. So it's not just within your own body, but it's interconnected with the planet. It's interconnected with the universe. It's interconnected with all of life. And it wants to merge. It wants to become. It wants to come to life. So this is about liberating yourself so you can fully come alive. There's so much energy here. But it might challenge you. It might seem counterculture. It might seem like it wants to do things or say things or create in ways that are beyond what you think is possible or what's allowed or what will be acceptable. And so for me, it's always been the choice of either choose to squash and suppress myself to fit in, or I choose to be 100% myself and take that risk of who will stay in relationship with me and who won't. And every step has felt scary, but what I've found is my relationships have just got deeper and richer, deeper and richer. And mostly the things that I feared didn't happen. Occasionally they have, but then what I've realized is it kind of doesn't matter, because it's more important to me to be my full, authentic, powerful self than be a suppressed, squashed version of myself. That's what I've done for most of my life. And there is a huge cost to that. There was a cost to my physical health, my emotional health, my mental health. And I had to choose where I was going to create from. And yes, there are costs to creating from this powerful place, because it is going to take you on a journey of change and transformation and evolution. But you're going to be much more you, more fully expressed, more alive, more in alignment with your purpose. Is it comfortable? No. Is it easy? Not always, but it can be easy. It can be easy because it's our brains, our survival brains, that overcomplicate everything so much and make everything so stressful. And this is a daily practice, and this is part of my daily practice that I've been sharing with you in this podcast, and I want to continue to support you with. In my thousands of conversations with people all around the world, around power, around manifestation, what I find is that most people know who they are in the deepest depth of themselves. They've either separated from it, they've ignored it, or they've hidden it. And that is costing a lot of pain for a lot of people. And I understand that this is not the path for everyone. It's a unique path to activate your power, to consciously create, to be a leader in your life, to run a business or be an entrepreneur or a high-level professional. I understand that that's not everyone's path in this life, but this is who I'm here to serve, right? The leaders, the change makers, the path makers, those of us who I believe chose to be here on a soul level to create and innovate on this planet at this time. And we're here to do things differently. And I'm so grateful to be connected with you. So, my friends, I would love to know what is landing for you around this. I'd love to know how you've been shutting off from your power, suppressing your power, or how your power has been playing out in your life, either working against you, causing problems for you, or maybe you're connected to it and it's creating really well for you. I'd love to hear what's going on with your relationship with power. And I have a very special invitation for you. I'm going to be running a masterclass for free online called Activate Your Power to Manifest What You Desire. And I'm going to be taking you through my step-by-step process on how to do this. It's going to be a beautiful deep dive. It's going to be a 60-minute presentation with some live Q&A. You can visit my website, larawaldman.com, to book your free place. I would love to see you there and have an even deeper dive with you. And from there, I'm going to be opening up the doors to my new program, Manifestation Mastery. It's a 12-week course. I have not run a 12-week course in over 5 years. So this is the first time it's going to be possible to work with me in a smaller container, and it's going to be really, really powerful. So we'll spend 12 weeks together having a deep dive into manifesting what it is that you want, and I'll be supporting you to do that. So check out my website, larawaldman.com, book your place to Activate Your Power free masterclass, and from there I'll be introducing you to the Manifestation Mastery 12-week course, and would absolutely love to have a deeper dive with you very soon. So please be in touch. Let me know what's landing for you, and don't forget to subscribe or follow to this podcast if you haven't already. And I look forward to being with you again next time.